Nothing beats sitting alongside a river, just waiting to see what passes by. Great for the mind, quite good actually for Mindful Monday, but it's not Mindful Monday, it's Masterclass. But before we get started, I just want to say thank you very much for subscribing to Ecotalk. You know, you've signed up to something which is making a real difference when it comes to UK conservation, as well as getting a great service. Anyway, Masterclass. What about how do you read a river? Read a river from the wildlife point of view. Well, sounds a bit ridiculous, but I can offer you a few tips. I can see the river, can hear the river, but what I'm trying to do at the moment is kind of read the river from a wildlife perspective. Because by looking at this environment and seeing how it works physically, you can therefore think how animals, birds, insects might use it for their own purposes. So for instance, this spot here, if I was an otter wanting to mark my territory, and they do that using their feces, which we call spraint, then they always put it in prominent places like this. So you can see this little stream runs through here, the river's running through here, it's higher up, which means that the wind will blow across the top of it, carrying the waft of that personalised smell, that otter perfume, all the way down the river so that other otters could smell it. And there is no spraint here at the moment, but there are, and I'm looking here, some scratch marks. So something has climbed up onto here, but we know we have beavers here as well, so that could have been a beaver and not an otter. And of course, after rain like that we've had in the last few days, the river comes up, but then it drops down again, and it leaves lots of patches of freshly washed mud like this, and that's the perfect place to look out for footprints. So here, obviously, we'd like to find otter and see some of those beaver footprints, but we'd also be looking for deer footprints that might have come through here, maybe coming down to drink or to cross the river. And then bird-wise, now, the last time we were here, back at the end of summer, this was difficult to penetrate. The vegetation was up to here. It's really, really dense. Now you can see it's much more open like this, and it's wet. And this might be the perfect place for a woodcock to lie up in the daytime. They're what we call crepuscular birds. They go out hunting worms in the fields in the evening and early morning. So throughout the course of the day, they like to find a little spot like this, and bends in river, which are really overgrown with trees like this, are a perfect spot for them. Now, are you going to see a woodcock? Not before it sees you. They are remarkably camouflaged. Beautiful birds, but typically what happens is you walk through an area like this and all of a sudden one will just fly up and disappear through the trees. And then the river itself, remember this is a route, if you like, through this landscape. So lots of things will navigate using this river. So birds will fly up and downstream, kingfishers will come up and downstream, dippers, if there are dippers here, will fly up and downstream. They maintain territories even throughout the course of the winter, which means that if you were to sit on that spot where the otter hasn't currently pooed, and there were dippers here, at a certain point that male dipper would come up and come past you. So there are lots of things that you can look at in the landscape which could tell you about how the animals could use that landscape too. Here are some prints, look, on this softer sand here. Now, quite long. See the toes, I mean they're not very distinct, so several things are going to come into play when it comes to identifying these. Firstly, context. We're alongside a river. That hind foot there with that toe spread and what appears to be webbing with a narrow heel, and this forefoot here suggests to me that it's probably the footprint of a beaver. Scale is right, context is right, so even though it's indistinct, it's not a perfect footprint, I think I'm fairly confident to say that that's beaver. Why not otter? Well, otters' prints are slightly different shape than that. Sometimes you get a tail drag mark. So, beaver. A beaver has wended its way into the water just there. Some more prints here. These are from a smaller mammal. Okay, so here is the front foot and that's the hind foot. And you can see it's got quite sharp toes with quite long pointed claws. Why might an animal have long pointed claws? Maybe to grip the bark of a tree. Because these are the prints of grey squirrel. There's another one, really good one there, look. So a squirrel has come down here looking for acorns, maybe that have been washed down the river. Easy way to find those, or maybe just simply coming for a drink. But then also I spotted over here another set of prints, and these ones are a bit trickier. Oh, it's falling over. So here you can see there's two. These are harder to read. Here's the hind pad here, which is quite broad. So it's not a fox, it's not like a dog or a fox print, which is much more oval. This is more circular. And then you can see this one here is more circular, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 toes and a hind pad there. I mean, that's tricky. I mean, it could be fox, it's so difficult with the substrate, but equally it could be the forefoot of an otter. I'm going to have to stick my neck out, aren't I? Okay, because there are no hind footprints here and the ground is not very disturbed, I'm going to go for fox, splayed fox. Well, its toes are splayed. Fox is perfectly okay. Just want to hasten to add that. Maybe it was sniffing out the squirrel. Okay, the second part of my reading the river from a wildlife point of view masterclass. Look at this. Now, no prizes, of course, for knowing what's going on here. This is the work of the beaver. Look at that, quite fresh as well. And look, you can see etched in here those tooth marks made by its very powerful incisors. And if you ever get to see a beaver smile, get to see its front teeth, you'll note that they're bright orange. And the orange is because they've got iron in the compound in their teeth, which keeps the front part of that tooth really, really sharp. Because, I mean, you need sharp teeth to do this. This is beyond my sort of work, really, dental-wise. The question is, of course, why has a beaver come out of the river risking predation? Maybe not today, fewer lynx and bear and wolf about, but risking being out here away from the safety of the water to chew down a tree like this. And that's what it's trying to do. Look, it's working through here and here with a mission to separate the tree along this line. It wants this tree to fall down. What on earth for? It's this. It wants the bark. It wants the bark on all of these branches, especially the lovely, tasty, fresh bark up here. I mean, this is a bit past it. That'd be a bit chewy. But up there, all that fresh bark, it would be absolutely perfect. So it wants to chew that down, then it's going to nip those branches off, it will take them back to the river, and at this time of year coming up to the winter, it may even store some of those branches beneath the water, a larder of bark, if you like. Now, what about the tree? You're thinking, oh wow, this could be really bad news for the tree. Not this tree, this is a willow tree. And once that's chewed off here, this will then sprout and lots of new branches will grow out. That's why beavers are so good for this environment. They promote that turning over of materials, that fresh green growth. Because all of those fresh branches won't just be good for beavers to eat in the future, they'll be great for things to eat next summer, particularly lots of invertebrates whose caterpillars will feed on the leaves that might sprout from the shoots from here. But look, the beaver's got a bit more work to do. I wonder how long this has taken. This willow is quite soft, quite a few hours, but not all in one go. They'll come out, have a little nibble, go back next night. What do you think? No, I'm not up to it. I'm just staying in the lodge tonight, you go. Oh, what, that tree, that really big one, you want me to chew through that? I don't suppose they argue, they just get on with the job. Look at that though, it's not going to take them much longer, is it?